Okay, well, now it's time to take a look at some of the stories in the news and out there in pop culture that have people talking.
So many people talking about so much. Psychotherapist Dr. Robbie Ludwig here to talk about some of the big talkers, and David Letterman is retiring. Why do you think now?
You know, he's probably been ready for a while, and he wants to leave while he is on top.
Yep.
There's a new generation of people coming in for late night. Good for him. You know, he probably wants to do other things.
Yeah.
And there's a time to leave a job. And sometimes people don't know that, and it's really important to know yourself, know when to leave, and know when you're not excited by something anymore.
Well, he also referred to his son.
Yes.
You know, he's got a 10-year-old son.
Yeah.
He's going to be 67 next week. You know, why not enjoy that? I think he's got a few bucks.
Maybe.
Oh, my God, I mean...
okay. They're not going to be, you know, struggling.
Yeah, and there are other things to do. I think what makes it shocking is that David Letterman seems to have a real dream job. Everybody wants his job. So, you know, one thinks, oh, my gosh, if I had this kind of job, why would I leave? But, you know, when people have a job and they're used to it, everything can get old at a certain point. And so it's good that he's looking at his life and his future in a different direction.
Could Jay Leno's decision to leave have something to do with it?
I'm sure it's a certain generation kind of segueing out, and he may feel, listen, it's just his time. And there is a domino effect sometimes when people in the field start to segue out and do other things. It can spark ideas and motivate people in a certain kind of way.
I think we're going to hear a part of this chapter, the social media influence.
Yeah.
You know, Dave's not a huge social media guy. He admitted it earlier this week.
Oh, absolutely.
And now that's such an important part, I guess, of what we do.
No, it really is.
Technology is really creating a generational divide. So people who didn't grow up with technology feel a little out of it because you really have to be knowledgeable about social media, like it, be engaged in it, or you can feel a little bit like an old timer. It's kind of sad. I sometimes feel that way compared to my kids who are so knowledgeable. It's really quite striking.
Yeah, I just found out the internet's on computers now.
I know. I'll have to teach you that after the show. Well, now, Chris Brown, let's talk about him making his way to a trial. Does anybody even remember? I mean, this guy's an artist. He sings.
Right. It's so sad for Chris because here is this very talented man. He can sing, he can dance, but his psychological problems are overshadowing his talent. And I think you're very right, Carolina. Nobody really remembers how talented he is because when was the last time that he really did anything that was so great? He was known as Rihanna's abusive boyfriend. We know that he came from a difficult background, and he can't seem to find his way out of getting into trouble. He needs anger management. He really needs to look at why he's holding himself back.
Well, how many passes are we supposed to give the guy?
Well, you know what? I don't know how many passes the public will give. We tend to like to see people rise from a difficult place because it's comforting for us. It's nice to know that we could be self-destructive and still get out of our own way. So, but Chris should do it for himself. He should really say to himself, am I really the best person I can be? And if the answer is no, figure out how to get there.
Yeah, he's got 3 singles out right now, though. So, you know, I mean, he is still making the music, so we'll see what happens there.
Troubled guy.
Yeah, okay. So, Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, this engagement, like, he's talking about it.
Johnny Depp is very smitten. We see a very different side of this kind of bohemian actor who's been very quiet and tight-lipped about his personal life. But I think this is an example of a man in midlife. He's 50. He's in a different
Johnny
place.
Depp is 50?
Yes, Johnny
50.
Depp 50 is the new 49.
That's right. And this is where we see 50 maybe not be the new 20. Men are sometimes different in midlife. They are ambitious, but they tend to focus on their personal lives and making love important and settling down a bit. So Johnny Depp has been in the business a long time. He's probably happy to be very much in love and slow down.
Do we see him jumping on Oprah's couch anytime
Let's hope
soon?
not. Let's hope not.
Is he going to go that crazy, or?
It doesn't seem so. It really, from everything I've seen, Johnny Depp seems to be smitten in a very appropriate way. He says very lovely things about his fiancée.
It's cute, and he's even wearing that
engagement ring. He seems very much
in
in love, and it's nice to see somebody so excited and moving forward with engagement. It's just interesting to see him going a very traditional route for an untraditional guy. It just goes to show you, when you're ready and the time is right, everybody can move in that traditional way.
All right, what's cooking with Paula Deen? What's going on here?
Paula. You know, the only thing I can think is that Paula doesn't have very good people who are advising her. Paula had a restaurant that closed down, and it closed down in a very unusual way. I don't even think people were told directly. It happened online, and these were people who felt very loyal to her.
Yeah.
So, and they felt very betrayed that they weren't told in a direct fashion. So I think people are saying, oh, what's going on with Paula, because she wants to come back and make a great name for herself and come back strong.
This doesn't help.
But this just goes to show you really need the right advisors when you're a high-profile person who's dealt with a high-profile damage to your brand.
Yeah.
I do think Paula will come back. It may not be as big as she once was, but I think that she'll find her way and find her audience again to some extent.
Yeah, and maybe, who knows, maybe we'll even have her on the couch one day.
She can do a duet with Chris Brown.
There you go.
Listen,
Dr.
she can teach me how to cook. Anyone can teach me how to cook. I'm not very good.
Thank you so much for joining us.